Hi everybody, this is Anna, a little bit late here, but let's just get going. I'm super excited for this particular live, and I wanted to say the live today, I'm going to be walking around my apartment a bit, and yeah, it's you could hear a little construction, etc. But today's live is really important because the live is about your parent superpowers and what those parent superpowers actually are. And it's super important because the number one parent superpower we have, according to what I learned from my teacher, who spent 2.5 years in the jungles of Venezuela studying basically authentic human nature. So kind of like pre-industrial, almost like Stone Age people in the Amazon. And some of the amazing things she learned, one of them was that children live entirely off of our expectations. So this live is about the three important superpowers, parent superpowers that we have that are going unrecognized or unnoticed in today's society and causing a lot of problems. And it's super duper important because we can get our children's behavior to be way better starting with these superpowers. And the number one that I want to say is that children respond not to what we say and not to what we do, because that's the common thing you hear a lot. Children do what they do what we do and not what we say. Well, I'm going to go a step beyond that, and I'm going to say they don't do what we do and they don't do what we say. But get this, they do what we expect them to do. So the number one parent superpower that you could have is to keep your expectations of what your children are capable of very high. Keep your expectations high. Keep that... let's see, let me think of another way or even a story. Well, actually, my teacher, Jean Lee Luff, she had the best story. I love this story. I might have even used it on another live before, but the story goes like this. You're walking in Central Park, you get out, of the subway or whatever, you're at Central Park with your child, and oh, hey, June Kennedy is watching. Hey, nice to see you, June. Go ahead, and if you have a question, hopefully I'll be able to see it. Go ahead and type in a question. And so anyway, we're in Central Park, and you get to the park, and you say to your child, hey, sweetie, now hold my hand. Now hold my hand. Now don't run away. Now stick with mama. You're saying that out of your real concern that your child will run away or, that bad things might happen. But what are you actually doing is you're letting them know that you expect them to run away. So that's what I'm trying to work on here. So what would you do in Central Park in that example? Because of course it is important that your child sticks with you. One thing I might do is just hold my hand out and not even look at them. My expectation being so strong that they want to hold mama's hand and that they know that it's best to hold mama's hand. So that's one example, and I know I could think of more, but it's, and this is something we do in my coaching practice is we work on things individual to your family of how to get your expectations in line with what you want for your family, for your child, for everybody's success, for what I call team family. But like sometimes we're inadvertently passing on an expectation that is the opposite of what we want. It's the opposite of what we want. So this is a really important thing to remember. Okay, so that's parent superpower number one, and in my book, it is the most important one. And so what's number two? I'm going to say number two and number three. I'm going to spoil the suspense here. But number two and number three are calm confidence. So let's deal with confidence first. So I'm going to list confidence as your most important parent superpower. Besides keeping your expectations high. Number two would be confidence. So what do I mean by confident? I mean, be confident in what you do. Be confident in what you say. Don't always be repeating yourself over and over. What's something that might make us look as parents less confident, less clear, less confident? It might be that we repeat the same thing over and over. So there are ways that I teach in my coaching of how to what I call, instead of, it's not a timeout, it's not permissiveness, it's not punish, it's called leaving out of the action. And that's a topic for another live. But the main problem, one of the main problems I see out there is that parents are repeating themselves over and over so that the child is not listening. They're not hearing. It's very, very, very common. Probably there's not a toddler parent out there would say to me that they're doing anything but repeating themselves over and over and not getting heard. So let's work on that too. Let's work on meaning what we say and saying what we mean. Be confident. Not let our children's upset behaviors knock us off balance. And once again, that's a topic for you in another live or some content, different ways and tricks that I have for staying in that confident flow. And okay, and now this is going to be a brief live, you guys. I was late, and I'm not even dressed for it, believe it or not, but I felt like my landlady came over and I didn't have my alarm set properly. So actually, June, once again, thanks for joining, and I'm hoping you guys will be getting this on the replay. Anyone can comment and once again ask questions. And, oh, June, I can even bring you on, though, if you want to be brought on. It looks like bring them on video, so I could do that if you have a question you want to ask me directly. But let me get to Parent Superpower number 3. And Parent Superpower number 3 is calm, okay? So how many of us are getting triggered by our little kids? And I have a phrase or a saying of like, people talk about managing your anger, or, you know, how can you expect your child to not get angry, upset if you get angry and upset? And yes, all those things are true. But what I like to deal with instead, to discuss instead, is what we can do before we get angry. Because once you get angry, it's really hard to control that anger. It's so easy to... it's so hard. It's easy to get angry, and it's hard to control that anger for anybody. You could be the very best parent, which, like I always say, the people who are into the Toddler Code in my book are the very best parents out there. So you could be like a Toddler Code parent, which I consider the very best parents, the most well-meaning, the most people who care about their children's success, even at their own sacrifice, whatever, you know, really great parents. And yet you could still find yourself getting angry at your children, and then that anger can easily run out of control like a horse that's let loose. So I'm really into methods that teach you before you get angry how to feel in control of the situation in a calm, confident manner that doesn't damage your child's self-esteem. But let me work on a story. Let's see, for calmness. So I've used this ice cream story a lot, but your child wants some ice cream. And you're like, you know, whatever, it's about to be dinner, or they already had an ice cream earlier that day, or whatever your reason as the parent might be. And let's just say your little baby or your little toddler is in the car seat and they start to cry and whine. So I would say calmly and confidently, just go about your adult business. Put a podcast on the radio. If there's an older child or another adult in the car with you, to start talking to them. I think one of the biggest mistakes we make in modern day parent is we put so much energy and attention on the child, and even the child who's acting up, when really the child is actually trying to get out of that mood by clicking into something more interesting, which is our own, you know, they're always wanting to be in the adult activity or in the family activity or in the team activity. No matter what it looks like. It often looks like they want what they want when they want it, but really they're really looking to get out of that bad mood. And we are the conduits to help them get out of that bad mood. But in fact, what we do is we turn and center it all on them, or Mama, here's your angry, or okay, well, you can have carrots instead of ice cream, or oh, let's go to the park, or tell me about your problems. When really the best thing to do would be calmly and confidently keep it on the adult business, something visible. Don't read a book or go on your computer. I'm not suggesting that. Something that the child could see, that you're not so focused on them. Honest to God, it's magic. It's magic. And I've got a lot more. This is just Parent Superpowers 101, but believe me, I've got more tips and tricks. And I want to say I'm about to give a beta on my coaching. I've got some spots open, and anyone who wants to jump on a phone call with me can get some, find out what my pricing is and get probably some of the best pricing it's ever going to be. I'm working on my course right now, and I have some spots open for my coaching, and I'm willing to really get some good people in there, get some good fits in there, and really change some lives. And one of the best things about my coaching is it doesn't only change the parents' lives, it also changes the toddlers' lives, it changes the siblings' lives, it changes your whole family. And you'll know what to do to not give in, not get angry, and yet never damage your child's self-esteem, and yet get behavior that you need for your family to flourish. Your child getting dressed on time, your child eating the foods you put in front of them without complaining. So much magic, so much magic. I've got so many testimonials and people who are really altered, life-changing, transformational work, and I am offering a sale right now. You guys will hear more about that. So anyway, June, I don't want to put you on the spot. I can't tell if you'd like to come on. So I'm going to bring them on video, and maybe you want to. If you don't, then here, I'm sending you an invite. Unable to add guest. Okay, so June is all set. Anybody wants to ask me any questions, please do. If you watch this live after, please go ahead and type questions. I will respond. Probably do a little video directly in response to your questions. So this is some free support for all my Toddler Code parents and community out there. And I will see you next Wednesday. The new time is going to be 2 p.m. Hawaii, 5 p.m. California, 8 p.m. East Coast. And that's on Wednesdays. And see you then. Thanks so much. Thanks so much for tuning in, everybody. Bye-bye.